Just over a year ago, I came up with a simple idea, which blends the elements of city builder and desktop games into a unique idle experience you can play entirely at your own pace. I've always had an obsession with city builders growing up and wanted to make something you can play all while you work, game, or study. While it's been a huge design and technical challenge in many ways, the support for this project has been absolutely unbelievable, and today I'm here to answer all of your questions about our upcoming game, Desktropolis. Now before we get started with all the questions, I just wanted to say, if this game looks interesting or fun to you, make sure to drop it a wishlist on Steam. We're so close to 10,000 wishlists already, which means we're pretty much guaranteed to be on the popular upcoming tab. The more wishlists it gets, the higher it'll be ranked when it comes time for release, so if you want to support us, that's by far the best way to do so. Now without farther ado, let's jump right into things and hope you enjoy the video. So the first question we have here is from RI Voltage 37, and their question is it an actual game or just a little mini game on the background? So I've actually been asked this question quite a lot, and to be honest, it's a little bit of both, and mainly just depends on kind of how you want to play with it. So I originally designed this game to mainly be more so aesthetic focused and something that, you know, kind of complemented your desktop, but it's kind of turned into like a whole experience with progression mechanics and all sorts of different things. Like you can optimize your city, you can try different builds and combinations of things, like you can hire employees, you can enact policies, there's events that you can run to give your city boosts and stuff like that. And there's even like mini games you can play as well, like there's a casino you can gamble your city funds in, like there's all sorts of things. We really went all out, but the unique element to this is that you can really just play at your own pace. So if you just want to focus on just making a cozy little city, you can do that. But, you know, if you really like the optimization factor and want to try to progress as fast as possible, then you could play it that way as well. So it's totally up to you. Now, the next question here from Quill5579 asks, Linux or Mac OS builds? And this is another thing I get asked pretty much like on all my videos. And the Linux is going to be a little bit more of a complicated one because it doesn't natively support transparency. So that's not really in my plans at the moment, but if there is a lot of interest in Linux, you know, we might be able to find a workaround to allow those players to play. But we have had playtesters able to play it on Linux. It's just not something that we can officially support being like a desktop game, right? But, you know, they're able to run it on something that simulates Windows. So that's a possibility, but when it comes to Mac OS, this is a little bit of a different story too as well, because in order to support Mac, you need a Mac product, like you need a laptop or something like that, and those can be pretty expensive, and you know, I'm not complaining about that at all, but it does require, you know, needing to maintain builds and updates for these different platforms. So primarily we're just focusing on Windows at the moment, but as we get closer to release, this is something I'll definitely be able to explore and answer basically in the future. So yeah. So the next question we got here from Grainery, this person asks, is the city gonna block app icon? So this is something that we put a lot of consideration into and was a big priority of mine. So a few different things you can actually do to help. You can fully zoom in the city basically to be whatever size you want. So if you want it to appear bigger, you can do that. If you wanted to zoom out and have it really small, you can do that as well. But if it is still blocking some app icons, I know some people like to have the apps closer to the bottom of their screen or near the taskbar. You can actually completely hide the city in something that we have implemented called the idle mode, and this basically puts your city in a tiny little preview that kind of pans around, and you can move this wherever you want on your screen. So yeah, you can free up the screen space if you want to work or do other things, or if it's blocking anything. So when you want to play, you can open it back up and do that as well. The next question I got here from Typac MD, this person asks, how big compared to the monitor are the buildings? Well, you should get a good sense just from the video already, but it kind of really depends. Some of the early game buildings are definitely much smaller, but as you progress through the game, the buildings will essentially become bigger, more futuristic and stuff. And right now, there's only half the buildings in the game, so I plan on doubling the amount by the time release is ready. And some of those buildings will extend a little bit more outside the landscape range, but they're still designed to be very minimalistic at the end of the day, because I don't want it really taking up too much screen space. But yeah, there will be some buildings that are taller, there'll be some that are smaller, there'll be a bit of a variety, but you can kind of get the idea just from the video right here. Now, the next question here from the Matop is not really related to the game, but I thought it would be a fun one to throw into this video and answer anyways. And they ask, are you proud? And yeah, incredibly. I can't even explain how much enjoyment I've got out of playing this game while making it myself. Like, I've probably played this game for thousands of hours, and I'm not even just proud of it, you know, from that standpoint, enjoying it, but I'm also just really proud from the technical aspect of it too as well. If you look back at our other games, Jinko was the first one I made, which was just kind of like a fun project. The next one was Putler, which was obviously really well received and did really well, and this game is just kind of blowing it out of the park in terms of wish lists and interests and all that stuff. And, you know, it adds a lot of pressure, but at the same time, I'm really proud of this. I'm really happy where it's going. It took a lot of iterations to kind of get to this point, but yeah, I'm incredibly proud of this project. And the next question here we got from Edit146. This person asks, will there be a way to change the theme so instead of only Scion-based colors, it could be customizable with different color themes? Absolutely. Customizability is one of our top priorities, so you can actually change the color to basically anything that you want to match your wallpaper style. You can change the landscapes, you can change your phone wallpaper colors, you can even upload your own image to the phone, all sorts of different things. I even plan on adding different phone cases that you unlock as rewards as you progress through the game. So yeah, customizability is a huge factor and something that I really want to take seriously. So if you have any suggestions on other customization that we can add to the game, make sure to let me know. Now, for the next question we got here is actually a really good one. It's from Tom R7Y, and they ask, will you update it? And so Desktropolis is not a live service game. Some multiplayer games typically get updated and, you know, have a lot of different changes and things made like that. But my main goal is to make an entire complete experience that you can expect on launch. And of course, there will be updates. There's gonna, you know, if we need to fix any bugs, if there's improvements that we need to make in other areas. I have some plans for things to add for like extra mini games and stuff that you can do as well in the future after release. So kind of like my game Putler as well, like we added free courses and stuff like that after release. So it's not something that's guaranteed. There will definitely be updates, but yeah, it's not gonna be like a live service game where you're gonna be getting like updates every week for it and a bunch of changes are gonna be made and all that stuff. So yeah, it's kind of a little bit of both. Another question we got here from someone named Nickel Fritz Dev, a great name by the way. This person asks, with an idle cozy city builder like this, is there a way to win or lose? Or does the game have some kind of natural end or completeness to it? Two great questions here, so I guess I'll answer the first one. So there's no way to lose, and I don't really want to say there's a way to win either, because it's kind of progression based like an idle experience would be. So you're not really going backwards, you're always going forwards, you're always gaining money, I guess with the exception of the casino where, you know, you could gamble your money if you're a bit irresponsible and, you know, set yourself back a bit, but that's kind of part of the fun there. But you can never really lose. It's only making progress primarily and earning gold as you progress. And the second question here is there some kind of end or natural completeness to it? So absolutely. So even though there's no way to win, there's definitely a end goal. And I'm just gonna say that's kind of like once you kind of reach all the highest tier buildings and you kind of have all the upgrades and stuff like that, you'll be given an option if you want to prestige and start over. And we just added a leaderboard mechanic to this game, which will basically allow you to display, you know, how much you've been able to progress, and you can kind of flex your net worth and things like that to other players. So once you kind of get to the end of the game, where you've got, like I said, all the buildings and all the stuff maxed out, you'll have that option if you want. So yeah, I would say that's kind of like the natural end or completeness to it. So the next question here from Void ME9S says, one question, when can we get a playtest demo? So two different things here. We've actually been running playtests for the last several months. Been really valuable. We've had some amazing playtesters really help shape this game, and getting a lot of quality life experiences and other things added to it as well. So if you're interested in being a playtester, all you really need to do is just join our Discord and wait for an announcement about a playtest, and then just sign up using the form. It takes 2 seconds, and yeah, we'll be accepting more in the future. So in terms of a demo, that's a little bit of a different story. This is basically what we're gearing up for now. I just want to make sure that we do a sufficient amount of testing before we really make the demo. And I can imagine the demo will probably be coming out within the next couple months, so basically anybody will be able to play it. There'll be limited features, of course, and stuff like that, but yeah, that's kind of the plan so far. So the next question we have here from Lemon Tea, this person asks, will the game have achievements? Absolutely. We've had achievements for other games as well. We're probably going to be adding a lot more to this one than what were in our previous games, but I've already been starting to work on brainstorming some ideas for them. So if you have any ideas, please let me know in the comments. I'm pretty much open to as many as you guys might have. So yeah, let me know. And now the next question we got here from Griff the Cat E4N. This person asks, might be a lot, but what are all the buildings and what do they do? Now I can't really show you all of the buildings because there's quite a lot of them, but I can give you a quick breakdown of how they kind of work. So all the different buildings are divided into 4 main categories, which all have completely different play styles, and you can kind of combine these together to make your own unique builds. And those are essentially urban buildings, civic buildings, cultural buildings, and innovation buildings. So each of these kind of have their own specialties and strengths and weaknesses, and it's going to kind of be up to the player to figure out how to utilize those and leverage those buildings to grow their city. So yeah, when the game comes out, you know, there's going to be a lot of different buildings. We're going to double the amount on release. So yeah, make sure to check it out when the time comes for that. The next question I got here from Potato UUU, this person asks, is there any way to lose buildings like in fires or other events? Yeah, so there's actually something called disasters in the game, and these could be natural disasters, they could be things like UFO invasions or meteorite strikes, all sorts of crazy things, but this is a setting option that you can toggle on if you want. So if players want that extra little thrill to play into the game mechanics, there's something called fortitude that you can actually strengthen your city to make it more resistant against disasters as well. So you kind of have that option if you want to turn it on or off, but yeah, you can definitely lose buildings to disasters, absolutely. Now to wrap things up, we have one last question here from Windows 98, who has a few questions. This person says, possible release date, late 2026, mid 2027, etc. So right now it's kind of based on the when we're ready for the demo, and that's going to give us some time to get more player feedback on a much larger scale. So my goal right now is shooting for 2016, the end of 2016, definitely not 2027. I really don't want to be working on this project for that long because we're already making a lot of good progress, and I feel like it's in such a good state already that yeah, I can definitely see it coming out this year 100%. So the next question we got is Sandbox Zen mode, and the game itself is actually entirely sandbox based. You can sell buildings and move them around pretty much however you want. So my goal when I was designing this game originally was to basically make an experience that allowed players to freely and change and move things around pretty much as they want. So yeah, that was definitely a big focus of ours. And the last question here is citizen mood slash necessities, having to build fire stations, schools, etc. So this was actually a really interesting question, and this is probably where Desktropolis really differentiates from other city builder games quite a lot. So I'll talk about the first one here, which is the citizen mood, and so that's a big factor in the game essentially. So you have this thing called happiness, which we all know about, of course, and this plays directly into how efficient your city is. So for example, if your citizens are 100% happy, that means they're essentially producing 100% of the maximum output of gold and XP possible. And if they're 50%, that drops down to 50% productivity. So it works basically one-to-one, so the happiness is really important. And in terms of necessities, this is definitely where it differentiates a lot, which is what I was saying from other city builder games. There's no requirements for having specific buildings in your city, so it's entirely up to you what buildings you want to add, what buildings you don't want to add. The only thing that you really have to manage is the economy and balancing the population with the number of jobs. So the more balanced that is, the happier the people will be. So yeah, that's pretty much essentially how it works. So that pretty much wraps up this video, and hopefully that answers all your questions, but if there are any that I missed, more than happy to answer them in the comments as well. And I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for all the support and wishlisting in the game. It's just been absolutely amazing to be able to work on this project and to be able to commit more time to it, because I think there's so much potential to this game, and it's just one of those things that I really believe in, and it just means the world to me that you guys believe in it just as much. And yeah, like I said earlier, if you're interested in the game or you think it looks fun, make sure to give it a wishlist on Steam. Definitely the best way to support us. And as always, my name's Max Anderson, and we'll see you beans in the next video.